actually 24 hours 7 minutes and just because she wants to have it.
Guys, good evening. Good evening. Despite the rainfall, all are in. Hi, sir. Oh, that's great news. ये कौन है? जा निकल पूरा भीग के है. हाँ मैं कर रहा हूँ. Madhav, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what I was doing last class. Akshar, who is Akshar here? Akshar. Money and credit. And what is the notes related to it? Why it can't be written? Okay, Vikram. Hey, who is this Akshat who is entering my room? Please. अच्छा अच्छा आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. Every time he comes in, then I'll ask him who is he. Chalo. Attendance sheet. Come. Yes. Hey, money and credit. Did I explain loan lending activities of a bank on that day? Okay, on a rough sheet. Okay, so today I'll explain that. How much of a notes did I give? Let me know. Credit are given. All modern forms of money we have done. Yes. Give the notes also. Yes. So let me explain. I think these guys, more guys might come in for the rainfall. Is a small disturbance. Okay. Of commercial bank. Let's understand this. How many of you hold an account at least now? Oh, good. Which bank? Axis Bank. Axis, so good, yeah. And HDFC. ICICI. UCI. And the last one person?
I have shared account.
Joint account. Which bank? Oh, good, yeah. So at least you operate? No, they only operate. So they only deposit the money, means they operate. But at least you know what is a bank and what are the formalities are. I think last time when I was explaining, if you remember, I said the most basic function of a bank. Okay, every bank, in fact, let me put it banks. One, accepting deposits, correct? And second, अक्षर तो ऑनलाइन में नहीं है लेकिन एंट्री तो किया चलेगा. And second is advancing loans. Advancing loans. Now, if I tell you these two activity of any bank, the basic function, you feel where you stand in a bank. Nobody. Wait. दोनों में से एक जगह बताऊंगा. First one, you accept, you deposit, correct? Now, when you deposit, I feel there are some 100 customers. Example, and each customer minimum depositing 10 rupee each. Let us make it very simple. So, how much rupee it will be? 1000 rupee with the bank now, correct? It is in the bank. Now, then the bank studies the withdrawal limit. Out of the 100 people, hardly 10 people have the habit of withdrawing. Correct? They only withdraw time and again. So I say close to 500 rupees they withdraw. So how much rupees left with the bank now? 500. I'm giving it a very simpler. I'll put it in the words also. You come in this one. Then now the bank has promised you on this 1000 rupees, it will be giving you 3.79. That is generally the interest rate. Let me make it 4%. Correct? The government, the bank needs to give you 4%. But now then the government is left with some surplus of 500, which the bank will float in the market in the form of loans. अभी वो 500 तो आइडियली है ना, क्या हो गया? क्या इधर आ जा, ये बेंच में आ. Now when any X, Y or Z takes this loan, he will be charged minimum 8% per annum as the rate of interest. Whereas you are getting how much? Only 4%. Now whenever these people take a loan, they have to pay per month, correct? And you will be getting quarterly, 3 months, or maximum half yearly. That is after how many months? And what does the bank smartly does? The bank will take 8 minus 4%. How much percent of the bank's net income? 4% is the ROI. What is ROI? Rate of interest earned exclusively by on every how much rupee? 100. So here we have simplified the amount just for your understanding. So imagine how much lakhs, how much thousands, how much crores the bank might lend. So this is nothing but we explain the credit creation of a which bank. Or I can put it simple, loan lending activities. Loan. And where does this bank get this money? You have to understand it is nothing but it is the depositors' money only, which the bank circulates. Now then, if in a country like India, we have a strong role of an RBI, correct? When was it established? When it started functioning? 37, 38, so I'll put it 30. Now RBI will charge two types of limits on the banks. One, it will charge a CRR. Second, it will charge an SLR. Any idea what is CRR and SLR? This is called as cash reserved ratio. Correct? And this is called as statutory liquidity ratio. I mean, you get confused, sir, ye hota kya and why should I study this? Now, out of the 100% money the commercial bank is having or a private bank is having, minimum, I think this close to around 8%, 6 to 8 or 4 to 8% रहता है और ये कुछ 12% रहता है maximum है. तो दोनों मिला के मैं बोला कुछ close to 20% of the money every bank has to keep with whom? Like you have to maintain some money to keep your account running. उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Minimum quarterly average balance. Every 3 months, Axis Bank asks you 5,000 or be 10,000. Some banks ask you only 5,000. Some like Kotak 0, 811 account बोलता है. मतलब ये क्या है 811 0 rupees. No need to maintain anything. But generally मैंने देखा है कुछ financial charges रहता है उसका. But RBI say in the form of CRR, which is cash, in the form of SLR, which is gold, bonds or any other paper, the banks has to maintain here. Now, why does the RBI does this? Whenever there is inflation, you understand inflation, na? When the prices are high, CRR will be high, SLR will be high. इतना ही याद है. दो जन ऑनलाइन है ना. एक ही बच्चा देख रहे हैं ना, दूसरा नहीं. Hey Akshat, are you there with me?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Achha. Now I could see. Are you able to listen my voice and see the board clearly?
Yes.
Suddenly, why when you jump into offline then online? Not well.
Yes.
So then now you say when there is less of inflation or deflation, the CRR will be less, SLR. So through this CRR and SLR, RBI tries to keep a control over the loan lending activities of which bank? Of all the commercial banks. Neither it should lend more money, nor it should lend less money. So RBI, as I've already told, it is the apex bank of India. What does apex means? The central bank. Did I not use the word custodian bank? It takes the custody of all the banks which are registered in India. I can say it is bankers bank. What is the meaning of the bankers bank? All the banks registered in India must have an account with RBI. Is it okay? Is loan lending absolutely clear? इसको या तो credit creation का heading में आएगा या तो loan lending. अभी ये तो points में देगा, but it is there in the volume. And just check your economics volume. I don't have the volume. Just check and tell me the page number. Credit creation heading डाला है. What is it? Credit facility. हाँ, credit facility.
Sir, you gave the subheading terms of credit.
What Madhav was saying?
The terms of credit you told to.
What is the page number? Tell me the page number.
No, sir, in the notebook you gave this last subheading, but you didn't give the notes for it.
What is the heading?
Terms of credit, TOC.
Terms of credit. I'll give you. Don't worry. कोलैटरल तक लिखा है ना, वो टर्म्स ऑफ क्रेडिट अलग है, मैं देता हूं, पहले हम लोग ये रीड करेंगे फ्रॉम द वॉल्यूम. wait, I'll tell you the exact page number. Okay, some people are eligible for the third booster dose. I heard you kids are not eligible. No? Okay. We have page number. I know. Terms of credit I have to give, but उसके पहले it is on page number 250. Loan activities of a bank. Did you see? चलिए, I want Diya is it? Trisha is going to read. Everyone just listen carefully. Loan activities of banks, page number 250.
Credit facilities. The other major role banks play is providing credit facilities.
Underline point number 1. And right, providing credit facility. Only that point. Providing credit facilities.
The major portion of deposits banks use as providing credit loan to those who are in need of capital for different economic activities and other activities. Therefore, in a way, banks mediate between those who have surplus funds, the depositors, and those who are in need of these funds, the borrowers.
Underline. Banks act as a mediator. Directly लिखो borrower and और क्या है?
Borrower and depositor.
बस उतना ही. वो those who have surplus वो सब नहीं लिखना है. Next.
Banks charge a higher interest rate on loans than what they offer.
Underline. Banks charge underline high rate on the loan से लिखने का बस. Next.
The difference between what is charged from borrowers and what is paid to depositors is the main source of income.
Underline. The difference between what is borrowed and what is charged is the main source of income. Next.
Two different credit situations.
No need. Then put this heading in your notebook and copy down only the words that are made you to mark. Then I will add to the notes. Very important part of every part of this chapter. Loan lending, or you can write credit creation. Loan lending or credit creation. उसको heading को change करो. Loan lending or credit creation. Loan lending or credit creation of a commercial bank. Akshat, are you writing, man? There's no voice. Loan lending, only the words that you have underlined. If you are unable to connect, tell me. Then I will add some points. Is that in bold is so bad? Arya, is it? What is it? What is it? Shall I give?
Yeah, sir.
Oh, really? Why so cutting back, girl? What's layer thing? Write the fifth or the fourth point. What it is? Fifth point. Every commercial bank. Akshat and Madhav also continue where you have finished. Every commercial bank continues to create credit. Every commercial bank continues to create credit through the advancement or through advancing advancement का अलग meaning में जाए. Advancing its surplus funds to the needed customers at a fixed ROI. What is ROI? इसको return of investment भी बोलता है, but इधर अभी rate of interest है. On a fixed rate of interest, bracket name by RBI. ALSH not है ना? ALSH है ना? सैनिक केस में. अच्छा नहीं वो उसका साइन ही ये भी instead of Ayush smart fellow is absent but then you can control the not control sorry give me that word. Continue that terms of credit. You want to explain terms of credit? Madhav, collateral thoda sa aage. You understand what is terms of credit, Madhav?
So the terms which are kept by the banks.
Now, why do you need a terms? Why do you need a term? Because banks are under the supervision of RBI. RBI lays them certain conditions. The same condition the customer, the commercial bank puts in front of the RBI, the customer. So what it can be? I mean, for example, if you're a government paid employee, documentation will be minimum. Because why? Because every time the payment, she was going to say, see. Every time the payment comes to your hand, automatic deduction of the income tax. And then you are not going to escape. If you are a privately earned fellow like what we are doing, we comes under a highly professional service class. हमारा भी महीने का कम से कम नाना करके भी 6 से 12,000 जाता है from our income, which is really heart paining for me. And for the last so many years I'm working with UP, I've never filed my returns and got back the money. अभी last year मैंने file किया IT तो कुछ 32,000 मिला, but कितने ही साल का पैसा गया मेरा. I being little bit of careless, क्या file करेगा क्या मिलेगा. But then government gives you payback, cash back बोलता है जो हमारा ITR file होता है. So every person has to follow certain rules. One, he should be a domicile of India. Second, now अभी तो कुछ points आता है ना, what is that points? Credit rating कुछ points बोलता है, आपका point नहीं और ही कुछ बोलता है उसको, I don't know. Credit score कितना है तेरा? I don't know what is that. Then have you been a defaulter? You understand a defaulter? Are your name appearing in the blacklist? Have you taken any loans? I mean, terms matlab very simple. Certain list of conditions that the customer needs to fulfill so that your loan is availed. If I say loan is availed, there are also two conditions. One, you will be getting a sanction letter. You understand what is sanction letter? You have applied for 50 lakhs of loan, but based on your profile, based on your returns or based on your etc. documents, you are eligible only for 35 lakhs. Then you are saying, sir, my requirement is 50 lakhs. Sorry sir, based on your documentation, our terms of credit is only this much. Then he said, I need more 15. Then he said, you might keep some collateral. You understand what is collateral? Now he might pledge some gold. Now he might show some documents, or now he might give you the posh house where he is living in. Correct? So normally terms of credit simply refers to those conditions which the banks ask or required by a customer to get a simple and easy loan. And if I say today loans are also different types. One, housing loan everybody knows. Then auto loans we also know. Educational loan we have, and the most important and most easy is called personal loan. The personal loan doesn't require so many documents. It can be even cleared within 24 hours. But what is the good thing and bad thing? Good thing that you will get without any serious documentation. Bad thing, you will charge the rate of interest from minimum 16%. Minimum. And then he might go up till 32% also. फिर आप उसको जाके बोलेगा क्यों भाई इतना, फिर नहीं तो क्या तू आके लेके जाएगा 4 लाख 10 लाख और तेरा डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं कुछ नहीं. So you need to pay. But then personal loan has, now we have something called as NBFIC बोलता है. I don't know, it is not there, but फिर भी मैं बोलता हूँ. We have non-bank financial institutions. अभी बहुत सारा है मार्केट में. कोटक ने भी अपना खुद NBFI स्टार्ट किया है. Then बहुत सारा बड़ा बड़ा इंडस्ट्रीज अपना बैंक जैसे ही रहेगा. It is not banks. They can provide you loans, but they are not directly under the subjugation of RBI. So the problem is that they might fluctuate the rate of interest. If you are taking from a cooperative bank or a nationalized bank or a state bank, the rate of interest will be directly in the hands of whom? RBI. But then आपको लगता है कि नहीं मुझे ये इस बैंक से loans नहीं avail होगा, then you can go for NBFIS. What is NBFIS? Non-bank financial institution. ये banks नहीं है, but किसी XYZ entrepreneurs के पास बहुत पैसा है, and वो बोलता है कि मुझे loan lending start करना है, कर सकता है, legally करेगा, सब कुछ करेगा. But the one problem is that he might not be under the direct subjugation of RBI with respect to the rate of interest. Second, good thing for you, he might not follow all the procedures strictly as per any bank. Why? उसका काम ही है loan देने का. But then he is running a risk of losing the loan also. That we call it as in commerce as a bad debts. That is his lookout. But then there is some one institution which we call it as NBFIS. Is it okay? So every time if you say collateral, collateral se bhi aage hi terms of credit. Collateral is just a part of that. Terms of credit many documents, your Aadhaar card, your domicile certificate, your present employee where you are working. Are you living in your own house or a rented house? Are you married? He said yes. Then how many children you have? ये सारा details बताने का.
Even salary.
Salary तो main है. बोलते sorry I am not married. Bank ये नहीं पूछेगा why not married. वो तो मेरा तेरा lookout नहीं वो मेरा है. And how many kids? Why you are having more than 2 kids? That is his lookout. But in certain parts of our country like UP and Bihar, where population is a little bit of a trouble. The banks के ऊपर jobs के ऊपर government ने pressure डाल दिया. What is the pressure? If you have more than 2 kids, no government job, no bank related loans. अभी बोलेगा सर अभी पैदा हो गया किधर लेके जाऊँ? वो हमको नहीं मालूम. That is your lookout. Understood? Why they are simply encouraging or discouraging? If you have more than 2 or 3 kids, you will have your income spent on them. अभी government ये नहीं चाहेगा कि अपना बच्चा को भूखा रखे तो loan clear कर. Correct? It's a direct or an indirect discouraging effect. But then now the learned people understand. In fact, I personally feel loans has to be at a standby. Standby मतलब जहाँ हमसे नहीं होगा तब जाओ. If you are taking a commercial loan, it is okay. You understand commercial based on your business or anything because you are going to earn. Whereas 90% of our Indian loans are all housing. And to be very frank, even I have taken that same. Correct. And then what is the trouble? House is not an investment at all. Are you accepting? It is not an investment. As long as you are living in, as long as you are using it for purpose, what is the best thing you are doing it? Nothing. Maybe if you go for rent, that is the time it is a capital one. वरना तो consumer है. घर का क्या करेगा तू? If you buy a gold, if you invest in only the land, you understand that you can sell it. अबे जिस घर में मैं रहता हूँ उस घर को बेच के मैं किधर जाएगा? So 90% of the housing loans are generally, in economics we say it is unprotected. It is not protected. But for an average Indian, house means my biggest property. Even for me also like that. क्या करेगा? हमारा mentality ऐसा है. But you see the foreigners, their house is just a liability. It is not an asset. I have seen certain houses in some parts of the world. They have 10,000 square feet house. अबे 10,000 मतलब समझो कितना बड़ा रहेगा? हाँ, और वो बोलते हैं कि my small little house. मतलब भैया तेरा small little house. I am a very ordinary person, you see, so I have this much. And how many cars? Only 4 cars. Like you, I'm planning to buy an aircraft of my own. And the family hardly 1 or 2. Generally, they are individual. Correct. Why I'm saying the banks in some countries and the banks in India is absolutely different functioning. But then I always give credit to RBI. Why? Because of that such strict procedures. At least we have bad debts. You understand bad debts? Loan defaulters. वो बहुत कम है. But in countries like America, it is so easy. You take 10 crores, you take 50 crores, no problem. Flat 4%. And documentation, nothing. Leke baag. But then they are countries which are capital surplus countries. You understand what is capital surplus? What paisa unke paas? They want you take loan anyway. But India bhi abhi wahi position mein aa raha hai. I don't know, yesterday when Mr. Modi was there in G7 summit, I think very soon we have a summit in online, I think not offline. We call it as BRICS. Have you heard about BRICS? Oh, very good. Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa. Good. BRICS ka summit abhi ho raha hai. Abhi 2 din mein hoga. And for the first time, China is there, and even Russia is also being a part of it. And China, to add to the fear, Russia has asked India to invest too much in Russia. So it's a golden opportunity for India then. And अभी तक रशिया ने डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया कितना ऑयल बेचा इंडिया को. अभी रशिया ने ओपनली बोला है कि अमेरिका का सैंक्शन के बाद भी इंडिया has got highly cheap petrol from Russia. पर डे कुछ 39 बिलियन टन इंडिया ने लिया है. सोचो. Now Russia is asking India to come and invest in restaurants because many Russians are loving the Indian food. मुझे लगता है वड़ा पाव लेके हम भी बात है ना? And then they are asking them to invest in pharma company, pharmaceuticals. And look how beautiful is India is taking the opportunity of this Ukraine and Russia war. Already हम लोग wheat बेच रहे हैं अभी पूरा यूरोप को, क्योंकि रशिया और यूक्रेन तो बिजी था वॉर में. Correct? So we all. It's in the dead phase. उसको dead phase बोलते हैं. मतलब already 3-4 province को इसने ले लिया. जो Donbass and क्या Donbass वो एरिया को इसने ले लिया. And वो declare भी कर दिया almost वो रशिया ने कर दिया. तो बेचारा लाइव रखने के लिए बीच-बीच में 10-50 मिसाइल मारता रहता. But it is almost out of the block कि अभी यूक्रेन बेचारा मान गया है and रशिया चुप बैठा है. अभी suddenly और 2 कंट्री अभी बीच में आ रहा है. Bulgaria has jumped in. Bulgaria has uttered some nuisance to Ukraine. अभी बुल्गारिया बोलता मैं अभी मिसाइल फाड़ दिखाई. तो रशिया बोलेगा अच्छा ठीक है तुम लोग दोनों चालू रखो मैं बाद में आता हूं. So you say Prime Minister Modi man, such a wrong way. हाँ ठीक है हाँ. What is the ultimate? What do you want to say? G7 summit. He was in Germany only.
No, sir.
Berlin, the capital of Germany. And then today, I think he's in Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. Abu Dhabi only. That Al Sulaiman Al Hamid is there, and from there he'll come to India, and then the BRICS summit. Kaliya Parsu start ho raha. What do you want to say? When he was in Abu Dhabi?
In Denmark, I guess.
G7 summit. India is not part of that group. 7 developed countries of the world, and India is not at all in that group. But फिर भी India को लोग invite करता है. And for last I think 5 or 6 years, India is a regular investor, participant. And मुझे लगता है कि जल्दी G7, G8 बनेगा. If India को भी उसमें membership मिल जाएगा तो. But let's see what's going to happen. So let us pull you back. Everyone understood terms of credit, Madhav? Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's write down in your notebook terms of credit. देखो Trisha was using the time to write the notes. Good. ये तुम छुट्टी के टाइम बाकी टाइम में आए तो कभी पूछा नहीं है. So that time she didn't bring it. No, she didn't tell you. ठीक, no problem. You're a good child. Write down terms of credit. It involves all the necessary arrangements, rules and regulations. All the necessary arrangements, rules and regulations, which the lender demands from the borrower, which any lender demands from the borrower for, am I using this word if you understand, for loan disbursement. Disbursement मतलब loan lending. ये word लिखना. For loan disbursement. BURSEMENT. For loan disbursement.
Sir, what is the meaning of disbursement?
Giving away of loans.
So, sir, in bracket, can we like write loan and lend?
Loan distribution will accept that.
Okay.
Loan lending will accept that, whatever you feel convenient for that. Next. Some of the important TOC are. Cover your opening mouth. TOC are: 1, collateral.
Some of the terms important.
So इतना बड़ा mouth open करेगा, spinal cord दिख रहा है. Collateral directly right from the volume as it is given.
Important TOC क्या है TOC? मेरे को पता होता तो मेरे को ब्रेक है कुछ भी साथ साथ में अभी आएंगे
Did you guys write collateral? Yes. Then write the second. What is it? First one is collateral, and collateral you have to copy from the volume. You didn't. Yeah, I forgot your name. कभी-कभी आपके जावेद करके नाम है. Javed. He's one of the pace bowlers of Pakistan team. Javed. हाँ तो वही लिखना. What is collateral? He didn't understand. Madhav, did you understand? Collateral is a part of TOC. अबे TOC में क्या क्या आएगा? तेरा डॉक्यूमेंट, तेरा collateral, सब कुछ आएगा. अभी उसमें collateral second write down. So future bank capacity. One is UCC and other is ICC. Second point, rate of interest the most important rate of interest hyphen. Continue. Most important, which determines the exact cost of loan to be borrowed, which determines the exact cost of the loans to be borrowed. You understand the word cost? What is that? P plus I, is it? What is P? Principal. And I is interest. Next. It also includes, next point. Collateral is first, second one is rate of interest.
Under that.
Under that. It also includes documents related to employment status. Employment status, comma, IRS, income tax returns. IRS करके लिखो, understand? I capital, R capital S. Domicile certificate. You understand domicile? You are which part of Maharashtra, Bombay, India, whatever, etc. Next. It is the RBI which determines the TOC as and when required from time to time. Change the para. Hence, as and when required from time to time. Hence, TOC is one of the important checks or hurdles. You understand check? What is check? In order to get a loan, you have to go through all these checks or hurdles in the loan lending activities of all commercial banks. All CBs, bus. I give you time to go back to your, what do you call it? Worksheet. Let me see how many are acquainted with money and credit. Very important chapter. Which page it is starting? I'm unable to pick up. It is on page number 268. 1, 2, 3 and 4. In fact, 4 तो अभी हम लोग ने किया. Start writing. इसमें लिखा है. अच्छा, then 3 and 4. Those who have not written 1 and 2, you write 1, 2, 3, 4. Others directly you can jump to 3 and 4. Come on quickly. Meantime, I won't get any videos, but wait, I can show you some videos for RBI related purpose. Have you seen this girl anywhere? Boys, I'm asking. Not interested, huh? Not interested, huh? Are you interested or not interested? Yes. Interested. Very clearly. अरे मतलब interested in listening to her. I am making fun. Let it be, let it be. अरे इसमें क्या हाँ है तो हाँ ना तो ना है ना हाँ what is it हाँ interested हाँ even I am also what she is trying to say वही बोला ना boss हाँ तो फिर क्या why you guys are making fun of अभी नहीं तो फिर क्या 7 साल के बाद रहेगा
इसको जरूर पढ़ाऊंगा मैं हर को
I'm trying to get one small documentary on wait I need some archive guys एक लड़की अकेली बैठती है तो quite okay the second girl joins me what is the second girl is joining with the first girl no I don't know you never get me here they are showing that 200 2000 rupees hopefully एक पास मिल जाएगा अभी evening का खर्चा निकल जाएगा this is the present governor of RBI this one. That one good nice studio finish it so that we can understand these videos you love it was it this one was in Hindi that's the one you see it's okay. Any updates before you jumped into the lectures? News about our Agadi Pichadi government. Kal flow test हो रहा है मालूम है? अच्छा you don't know what is happening in India. Exams. अच्छा ठीक है good. No, I'm keen because I am one of the person who want to change in Maharashtra government. हाँ वैसे हाँ शिवसेना हाँ देखो उसको तो वो भी मत कौन है भाई इतना आपका चाचा no, you don't know these evil politicians will play all kinds of nuisance schemes. He's a very popular personality from Thane.
Sir, I'm not able to see.
What's it, mother?
Sir, you have not shared the screen.
Achha, wait, I'm finding a best video for you, man. I want you to listen to one of the best videos. This girl time again comes, huh? Oh, interested boy. Audio. ठीक है तू निकल अच्छा I can't bear her voice at all.
Hello friends, welcome to the video.
कौन है YouTube खोल के कोई भी मूव उठा some people ask me sir आपका इतना नॉलेज है मैं बोला नहीं वो एक ही काम मुझे नहीं करने आप ही अपना अपलोड कर वीडियो I hope this is quite okay. जागरण क्वाइट ओके। माधव भाई कुछ तो एक वीडियो मिला है पर उतना भी खास नहीं है। माधव अरोड़ा, is the screen is shared to you now?
Yes, sir.
And just listen, where is the currency is printed in India? We have it in Nashik, we have it in Mysore.
Sir, you have not shared the sound.
यार मैंने अभी तक ओके ही नहीं किया। रुक जा, are you able to hear now?
Security paper and mint coins, etc.
Sir,
एक मिनट रुक जा। हाँ बोल।
sir, can you move it?
हाँ मैं उठा के हाथ में देता हूँ तो बैठ के सुन। फिर है तो इतना सा स्क्रीन में क्या करेगा? It's done.
Yes.
You are most welcome. Look how disciplined boy he is.
Security print. In this video, the students will come to know that which cities of India print currency notes, security paper and mint coins, etc. Security Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited is a mini Ratna company of Government of India. SPMCIL is engaged in the manufacture of security paper, minting of coins, printing of banknotes and non-judicial stamp papers, etc. Now let's have a look at the places where printing takes place. Indian Security Press, Nasik Road. This press is responsible for postal material, postal stamps, non-postal stamps, judicial and non-judicial stamps, checks and bonds, national savings certificates, Kisan Vikas Patra, security papers of state governments, public sector enterprise and financial corporations. Security Printing Press, Hyderabad. This press is meeting the demand for postal material by southern states. It also fulfills the demand for union excise duty stamps of the country. Currency Notes Press, Nasik Road. This press is printing currency notes of 1 rupees, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 50 rupees and 100 rupees since 1991. Bank Notes Press, Devas. Currency notes of 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees and 500 rupees are printed here. More than 40% of currency notes circulated in India are printed by Nasik and Devas Press. Nasik and Devas Press are engaged in production of bank notes for India as well as for foreign countries. Nasik and Devas Press made the currency of other countries like East Africa, Iraq, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Bhutan, etc. Modernized Currency Notes Press. 2 new modernized currency notes press are under establishment at Mysore in Karnataka and Salboni in West Bengal. Security Paper Mill, Hoshangabad. It was established in 1968 and notified as non-commercial undertaking under the Government of India. In India, all coins are minted at 4 places, that is, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Noida.
कोलकाता has no mark. भाई बता दिया कि कोलकाता का कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है। अगर बॉम्बे में प्रिंट हो रहा है मतलब
हर रोज खाना कम
डायमंड मार्क, मतलब आप पहचान सकते हैं कि ये देखो कोई करेंसी में है क्या वैसा मार्क। वे नोट्स में भी रहेगा ना, क्यों नहीं रहेगा?
Notes पे satellite,
Here is the actual video of making notes. प्लीज हम लक्ष्मी को देखें। सर वो तो कानवाली भाई सुबह सुबह आती है।
नमस्कार दोस्तों, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका हमारे इस YouTube चैनल आल्ट टिप्स में। दोस्तों आज हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि दोस्तों हमारी करेंसी जो हमारे नोट्स हैं कैसे इनकी छपाई होती है। दोस्तों देख रहे हैं आप लोग किस तरह से हो रहा है। दोस्तों हमारी
Other not anyone.
तो दोस्तों अगर वीडियो हमारी आपको पसंद आई हो तो दोस्तों एक लाइक कर दीजिए, अगर मन में आए तो इसे शेयर कर दीजिए, लेकिन दोस्तों इसे हमारे इस YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिए क्योंकि हमारे सभी नोटिफिकेशन
Madhav wants any bundle any? I heard internal voice of you.
Sir, I didn't heard. What did you say?
I said, do you need any bundles from here?
No, sir.
Confirm.
Yes, sir.
Hey, one of your friend has ordered 2 bundles, man. Don't want such an innocent boy. Chale, let's go on with the next. Yeah, you need a break 5 minutes or shall I continue? It's time. 7:20 or 7:30. I'll give you a break then start by 35. Break है ना? नहीं बहुत धूप से बोल रहे तो नहीं देता. Hey, we are dropping for a break now and then we'll continue. Okay. अच्छा, you are demanding for the notes.
No, sir, note machine. No, sir, no, note machine.
Like simple and straightforward, I say, you want to become a millionaire, there is a book called Rich Dad and Poor Dad. If you can't read, now I heard there is one small app which comes in you, Pocket Radio. I haven't used it. Many people say it's a good app. You can install that in your mobile and then listen to it. A 9th standard boy in America today is a millionaire. I met him in Singapore. His name is Robert T. Kiyosaki. He is the author of the the book called Rich Dad and Poor Dad. तो अगर आपको मिलियनेयर बनना ही है, अभी से आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, स्टेप बाय स्टेप. And mother, these guys are planning to loot any one nearby, which is not the easy case. Chaliye, let's proceed and wind up this chapter. Hey, if I check with you guys, are we ahead in geography or in history? Then after this. Acha. So after this, you want me to get into geography or economics? नहीं कंप्लीट किया. अच्छा, हाँ, I remember. ठीक है. Okay, let's write quickly the next one. Put the next heading in your notebook. Girls. Two girls are two girls. Write the next heading. Self-help group. Guys, oh my God, ये आर्या कभी इतना अच्छी बच्ची बन जाती है. Write down this in your notebook. Self-help groups. I will explain first, then we'll move ahead. Anybody needs tea? Sure. So wait, Hey, Madhav, you have to be on offline today. We have ordered some garma garam. अभी आया नहीं है, आने के बाद. अक्षर, तू भी मिस करेगा. हम उनको दिखा के नहीं खाएंगे, बट खाने के बाद दिखाएंगे कि खाया. चलिए, if I want to explain the self-help group in a very simple way. Now, when I am going to introduce two sectors in Indian economy, one is formal and other is informal. That I didn't do it. So formal means all the registered banks, correct? Informal means all the friends, money lenders, and the relatives. Now in India, the problem with the people, generally the formal, we have banks which are different types. Whereas here, the first person, the most important is money lender, second is friends, and third is relative. This is not a very sound source. But now then we have a new group which we call it as self-help groups. Now what are these groups? The numbers might be close to 30 or 40. Not numbers, I can say the word members, correct? Of the same community. I'm using the word same community, locality, etc. etc. And then each will have a contribution. For example, let's say rupee 100. New symbol. Rupee 100. I say per day. So these guys will continue this activity for a period of 2 to 3 years. per day everyone will collect. And if at all out of this 20 or 30, instead of 30 and 40, book mein shayad 20 30 hai.
Sir, I am not able to understand what's that 20 to 30 members. Sir, can you explain that again?
ये 20 to 30 जरा समझा, माधव अरोरा को नहीं समझा. Who is this 20 to 30?
Members of locality.
Same community, same locality. अभी जैसे APMC गया है, APMC गया कभी वाशी वाला.
Yes.
They have a Mathadi Kamgar Union. I don't understand typical Marathi word. Mathadi means those people who carry the bags on their haunch, on the back. अभी उनको कौन सा बैंक लोन देगा? Oh guys, settle down. So what they will do, they will start a crude banking system of their own, and they are naming a self-help group. अभी, for example, अभी इस group का नाम मैं रखता हूँ लक्ष्मी ग्रुप. एक एग्जाम्पल है नाम. अभी लक्ष्मी ग्रुप बना है. अभी इसमें कम से कम 30 members है, and every member per day contribute how much rupees? 100. Is it okay for everyone? Okay. Now then, this will continue, and they have to maintain proper accounts, right? And in between this work, one of the person requires a 10K loan. You understand 10K loan? So it's easy for this Lakshmi Villas self-help group to give a loan because 10K unke paas hai. But then after 1 more year, there is a person who is asking a 5 lakh loan. Now the trouble starts. Do you think this capacity of a self-help group for 5 lakh? Why not?
Members are more and contribution is lower than this. Even वो भी सकते हैं.
अगर members are more and contributions of bank नहीं जाएगा. अगर दिन में मेरा 1000 की कैपेसिटी हो बैंक में जाके नहीं डालेगा रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट उतना ज्यादा नहीं. ये very cruel people के लिए है, very poor people. Then what the RBI asks now? What does the RBI will say? Very simple. You can approach to the nearest bank. I'm using the word nearest bank. Now what the bank will ask? Bank will ask for how many years? When was it established? First, established. You understand ESTD? Second, how long it is operating? Do you have the proper accounts? Correct? Then they will scrutinize the account. Who? The concerned bank. If they find everything is neat and clean, the bank will operate an account not in the name of these people, but in the name of Lakshmi SHG. Now what the bank will do? This 5 lakh rupees loan the bank will give. It is not in the name of this person, but is in the name of. If this person goes alone without Lakshmi, etc., do you think the bank will give him the loan? Why not? Take a minute, Madhav. Why not the bank will give 5 lakh loan to that particular fellow?
So because if he has the account, sir, he.
यार उसका अर्निंग कैपेसिटी कम है ना, वो दिन का 100 रुपया बैंक में डालकर कहां से उसको 5 लाख का लोन देगा? He will enter the ICICI बैंक, बेचारा बुलाते वो डर के ही बाहर भाग जाएगा, है ना? इतना बड़ा बैंक है और लेडीज जो आइए सर फिर कितना इन्वेस्ट करेंगे? हमें इन्वेस्ट किधर करना है, लोन लेने आया और कितना चाहिए? 5 लाख. सो आप कौन सा कंपनी में काम करते हो? बोले बाजू वाला कंपनी में वो मस्कीटो का दवाई मांगते हैं. निकलो बाहर. He will run away from the bank. Are you understanding, Madhav?
Yes,
He doesn't have the capacity to go to a commercial bank. But now the bank and these people both are in win-win situation. You understand what is win-win? Now for this fellow, getting a loan of 5 lakhs from this SHG is not possible. At the same time, the bank will not give him independently. But then a bank trusts whom? Because they have done proper accounting, proper deposits, everything for last 2 to 3 years. If they want to go ahead, they can open this. So in some other, what is the time? एक बार उसका SHG का पूरा review हो गया, scrutiny हो गया, सब नीट एंड क्लीन, खत्म बात कर. जब ये बंदा लोन लेगा या दूसरा कोई लेगा, they will not scrutinize him. They will scrutinize the SHG only. Because अभी इसके पास जाके मैं IRS लास्ट 5 साल का पूछेगा, वो IRS तो पूछेगा ही नहीं. What is IRS? मैं उतना कमाता किधर है IRS भरने के लिए? So it is good thing that these people will not fall prey to whom? The money lenders. वरना ये लोग किसके पास जाएगा बेचारे? मनी लेंडर्स के पास जाएगा. So it is a highly revolutionary scheme of loan, mainly for the poor and the backward community or downtrodden. Backward भी नहीं बोलेंगे, आजकल backward forward से भी forward खेलता है उसे, है ना? Backward and the small labor group. So this is called as self-help groups. समझ में आया? हाँ, yes. हाँ, वो मुझे आने का था. Many people told me, सर अगर ये लोन लेके भाग जाए तो क्या करेगा? If he runs away, generally these 20 to 30 people के भरोसे पे बैंक दे रहा है, इसके भरोसे पे नहीं दे रहा. So if he runs away, then these are the people who will be the escort for him. अभी these are those people उनको जो पहले से जानता है, एक ही कम्युनिटी का है, एक ही विलेज का है, एक ही फैमिली का भी रह सकता है. Sorry to use some Gujjus and Jain, देखा है? हाँ, same idea. That's what I said. ये वो उनका बहुत बड़ा एपीएमसी मार्केट में रहता है. They have their own banks, बड़ा लोन देता है. एपीएमसी में 4 गाला खरीद के बैठा है. फिर मैं पूछेगा क्या गरीब है सर, कुछ भी नहीं है. मतलब कितना? 1 गाला बेचा सर, 2 करोड़ का बेचा है, गरीब है. मतलब कितना? हाँ वही 4 करोड़ का बेचता था, अभी 2 करोड़ का हो गया. Are you understanding? So उनका कम्युनिटी में ये चलता है. They give in-house loan only, no interest, nothing, या minimum रहेगा. भागेगा तो भी किधर भागेगा? All family members only. Correct? So now read SHG silently, or why silently? We will go violently only. We will give it to him. Yeah, Madhav, you want to read? हाँ, please. थोड़ा सा online वाले को भी pressure डालेंगे. Madhav, come on, start reading.
Yes, sir.
SHGs.
Sir, introduction part.
Yes, please.
In self-help groups for the poor. Introduction. The emergence of a new idea, self-help groups beyond formal and informal sector. The idea of self-help.
Underline the word beyond formal and informal. My notebook में दे देगा. What is formal and informal? Correct?
The idea of self-help group has come into existence in order to reduce dependency on informal sectors for poor households. As
informal sector है, ये formal नहीं है. Mainly for the poor household. Why not formal? ये directly RBI के हाथ में नहीं आता है. Correct? छोटा सा लोग अपने ओन में चलाएंगे.
As the formal sector is not accessible to them for a variety of reasons. The formation of a typical SHG self-help group involves 15 to 20 members usually belonging to one neighborhood who meet and save regularly. Saving per member varies from rupees 20 to 100 depending on the ability of the people to save. Members can take small loans from the group to meet their needs.
So what? You're going to pull him out of the screen? Carry on. What's his name? Akshay. Sorry, Madhav.
Yes, sir. The groups charges interest on these loans, but this is still less than what the money lenders charge.
Underline then lower rate than money lenders. Underline money lenders. Next.
After a year or two, if the group is regular in saving, it becomes eligible for.
ये पूरा देखो, वही मैंने लिखा है बोर्ड में. If they are regular in their savings,
it becomes eligible for a availing loan from the bank. Loan is
availing के नीचे लिखो getting. You don't want, I think. That's the fan. You don't want. Yes, sir. Oh.
Loan is sanctioned in the name of the group and is meant to create.
Loan is sanctioned in the name of the SHG, not in the name of that person. Carry on.
For instance, small loans are provided to members for releasing mortgage.
Underline the word mortgage.
Mortgage.
What is mortgage? It's like collateral only. मैं कुछ गिरवी रखेगा फिर लोन लेगा. Correct. Land नहीं लेता, generally gold होता है. ये मुथूट वगैरह उसी में कमाता है.
Mortgage land for meeting working capital needs. Example.
Capital needs. So do one thing. And thank you, Madhav, for reading. Put the heading in your notebook SHG and write whatever you have underlined straight away. And while writing also, if you have a doubt, please ask me. It is very important. मोबाइल है थोड़ा अंदर Akshat boy is coming in going out. I don't know what is the network issues with him. So you have to bear with these little bit of the tea. It is not so hot, but he bear with it. So the way. Start writing and tell me where you have a query. एक बार मतलब नहीं आप लोग एक ले लो फिर प्ले कर दो ले लो पहले फिर हम लोग खत्म करेंगे give it to everyone and the chutney is on the way वो भाई साहब भूल गए
Sir, do we have to write that it involves 15 to 20 members?
what is it
Sir, we have to write that it involves 15 to 20 members. So,
it's just a counting man it's up to you
okay.
a minimum membership of 15 to 20 उधर रख देना उधर बीच में रख दे हाँ उधर रख दे नीचे रख दे हाँ so that you keep writing keep munching is it okay wait the chutney all thanks to him this guys are not allowed to laugh no I had it आप लोग बच्चे लोग से सीखते हैं आप लोग को अच्छा लगा जो जितना खाने का था कैपेसिटी पूरा Yeah, please complete it quick. We got a beautiful video on SHG. At least you will understand through this video. It's quite a good presenter as well. And while writing, you have any query, please ask me. So, बहुत सारे क्या query? अच्छा तो पूछना किधर बात करें? This is tomorrow morning's feast. ज़्यादा मत खाना, है ना? ये रखिए, cross out करो. Finish it quickly. This SHG will help you to understand. ज़्यादा oily नहीं है ना? One नहीं on the way. पहले बोलता तो बात बता देंगे फिनिशिंग Madhav finished writing?
Sir, America is a racist country, right?
Yes, sir.
We can say one of the
और उनका लोन नहीं पर डिपॉजिट 1% है उस पर इंटरेस्ट.
देखो they are capital surplus country. That's why their loan lending is very easy as compared to India.
नहीं तो भी जो डिपॉजिट करते हैं उसका इंटरेस्ट मतलब जो आता है वो 1% है ऐसा.
Sorry to say, when I was there working, deposit तो दूर, उन लोग का salary 15 दिन में खत्म करके फिर पिकना.
तो भी पर कैपिटल इसमें बोले.
And वो that is related to the country, but उनका savings attitude नहीं है हमारा जैसा. And still only, we are commoners. Listen, they don't have the saving habit like you and me. I mean, in fact, वो जिंदगी भर कमाएगा, फिर भी रोड पर आएगा, फिर भी कुछ हो जाए. या हम लोग ये कमाने का, ये बिल भरने का, कोई ये सेव करने का, वो what is
The
this?
next generation.
फिर next generation के अभी का generation को रोड पर छोड़ते हैं. माँ लगे, डैड लगे, बेटा बोलते तो दोनों को नहीं. Their lifestyle is totally different. Now the America is going through serious pressure because of this Ukraine related and Afghanistan pullback. And America चाहते हैं कि India कुछ उसको support करे. That's the good position of India. Shall we complete it, everyone? So while writing, just listen to this also. This is one of the SAGs for the women.
Helps alleviate poverty and social exclusion by facilitating empowerment of women and girls from poor and marginalized communities. We have joined hands with AXA, a global insurance firm, to implement Where the Rain Falls project, which aims to increase the resilience of 3,000 tribal women and their households in 40 villages of Jashpur district of Chhattisgarh in India, to shocks and stresses around water, and improve their access, control and management of natural resources over a period of 3 years. Care India has worked with the communities on soil and water conservation, climate resilient agriculture, collectives, inclusive governance and gender. This film is about our work on promoting effective collectives in Where the Rain Falls project. Climate change has a greater impact on communities that are mostly dependent on natural resources for their livelihoods and who have the least capacity to respond to natural hazards, such as droughts. Amongst those communities, women commonly face higher risks and greater burdens from the impacts of climate change in situations of poverty, and the majority of the world's poor are women. Women's unequal participation in decision-making processes often prevents women from fully contributing to climate-related planning, policy-making and implementation. In India, in Chhattisgarh state also, women form the core of development activities in rural villages. They are participating in all the activities at both the levels of household and farm. These women are also a part of small voluntary association known as Self-Help Group or SHG.
You can write that word. It's a voluntary association. Voluntary on your own. There is no force you must join. It's a small voluntary association. Madam, you wrote down.
Preferably from the same socio-economic background. They come together for the purpose of solving their common problems through self-help and mutual help. The SHG promotes small savings among its members. The savings are kept with a bank. In all the major government livelihood programs in India, especially in National Rural Livelihood.
Okay. Now they are collecting the money from their SHG. and that money they will be depositing in the bank, and the passbook they have shown, if you remember, it is a State Bank of India, correct? They will come to villages, and whoever is a part of SHG, they are making whatever 100, 200, and she or he, whoever is the person, control all the money and put it in the bank. But that will be in the name of what? SHG. ये पता नहीं फिर इंटरेस्ट रेट कैसे डिवाइड करके देगा, वो उनका सवाल। बैंक बोलेगा कि आप ये लेडी को नहीं पहचानते, हम सिर्फ SHG को पहचानते, correct?
Mission. Implement the new strategy of poverty alleviation woven around community-based institutions, especially through SHGs. Therefore, formation of SHG was a major step towards implementing all developmental activities. As a mechanism to enhance Adivasi women's covered under Where the Rain Falls project of Care India in Jashpur district of Chhattisgarh, participation in the village development committees and in livelihood-centered discussions and decision-making. Self-help groups have been organized or revived in the project villages.
You see that book, none of the banks signed, all are finger thumb imprint. These are poor people. When I ask them to go and open an account, do the saving, they will not understand. But at least through SHG, which habit is cultivated, banking habits, correct?
Over the project period, these SHGs have provided an accessible platform to these women to come together, organize, save and meet their consumption credit needs, and to start taking small production loans. Various trainings were organized for these SHGs in various aspects of basic processes and bookkeeping, best practices of management and leadership, SHG visioning, training in income generating activities like collective farming, goat rearing, grocery shop business, mushroom cultivation, lark cultivation, and procure and sale of non-timber forest produce. A healthy community is a form of living democracy, people working together to address what matters to them. CARE will continue to mobilize and strengthen self-help groups to empower women, develop their leadership abilities, and increase their resilience to climate change impacts.
If you read this, look at me. Almost 24% of the Adivasi women in Angola are part of active and functional collectives. They are not only depositing, but also they are making a management. How to maintain the account book, how to do this. Rural collectives. मतलब इससे क्या हो जाएगा ना? They themselves are the members. So if I say it's something a small scheme, but making every people a part of it. I mean, can be these women be a part of any bank? Definitely. So that's the good thing about this SHG. Yes, what is the question?
Sir, is it similar to SHGs having an account in commercial bank? Is it similar to commercial bank having an account in
How do you say commercial bank and SHG is the same? SHG is such a small level, and commercial bank is at such a big level. Now, why the RBI is asking them to join the commercial bank? Because in future, these commercial bank, these SHGs do not have the capacity to provide high loans. Correct. And if these continue to grow at a very this rate, they will remain at SHG only. क्या पता आगे जाके लोग अपना खुद का rural bank, अभी bank क्या करेगा? If the deposits of this SHGs keep increasing, they might open one branch in their own area also. The same commercial bank will go to that village and open an account. So it's easy for them. So SHG can be never equivalent to a commercial bank. Commercial bank का तो function बहुत बड़ा है. हाँ.
They can be used for money laundering. It is over
It's such a wonder. ठीक है. I'll first of all, you know what is the meaning of money laundering?
converts black money to
ठीक है.
white.
There are FERA and FEMA rules. You know what are FERA and FEMA? Correct. Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, then came Foreign Exchange. No, पहला FEMA आया. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट. नहीं, FERA came later. FERA came later. Now when one of my friend is giving me 100-200 pounds into my account, it is okay. Suddenly he is transferring me 10,000 GBP, then I am into the radar of RBI. Algesh के account में 10,000 GBP कहाँ से आ? क्यों आ? What I will do, instead of taking 10,000 GBP into my account, I will ask he or she to invest in my company. और इसको हम लोग economics में shell companies बोलते हैं. Shell company मतलब company paper में है, reality में नहीं है. मतलब अंडा वाला कंपनी. हाँ, तो शेल कंपनी क्या करेगा, बोलेगा कि आज स्टार्ट कर दिया, लाइसेंस भी निकाल दिया, बट कंपनी पेपर में ही है. तो एक दो कंपनी नहीं करेगा, मतलब 100 कंपनी खड़ा करेगा. पेपर में तो खड़ा करना है, करेक्ट. वो 100-200 रुपए में आजकल तो MOU भी आ जाता है, उसका सर्टिफिकेट भी आ जाता है. तो इस कंपनी में मैं बोलेगा रेगुलरली तो 500-1000 GBP डालते ही. एंड फेरा के रूल्स के अंदर क्या बोलता है कि इतना पैसा एक साथ नहीं आएगा, ठीक है ना, हम इंस्टॉलमेंट में लाएंगे. फिर उस फॉरेन करेंसी को फिर मैं क्या करेगा, उसमें से लेके मैं मतलब परचेज कर रहा हूँ, मशीन उधर भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. आई विल चेंज दैट फॉरेन करेंसी इनटू इंडियन करेंसी टू सेव द टैक्स. कैमरा में बोलूं कि नहीं? माधव, आर यू लिसनिंग?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, अभी जरा काम बंद कर लेते. When I had my NRI account, when I dropped it back into India, that was the time this demonetization was launched. So some of my friends came and asked me, तेरा अकाउंट में कितना डाल सकते? बोले तेरे पास कितना? मतलब मेरे पास छोड़ तू कितना डाल सकता? मतलब दिन में 1 लाख तो डाल सकता. And they will not ask me कहाँ से लाया. NRI का वो एक prefer. So many 2-3 of my via friends came and मैं देखे ना देना, सभी तो foreign में करने के लिए रहता है. I put money into my account. In fact, एक दो बार कैशियर पूछ रही थी, सर इतना पैसा मतलब कौन सा अकाउंट है? NRI अकाउंट है. तो फिर तू क्यों पूछ रही? तू तब ले. After 3 days only withdraw the money and they give me a commission. But I didn't do after certain because then I will be under scanner. मैं आया है इधर है तो ठीक है, but इतना पैसे कहाँ से आया? Then are you understanding? तो ये जो क्या था SHG है ना, बहुत छोटा लेवल पे 100-200 रुपए करता है. तो उसमें अगर तू ग्रेट ब्रिटेन पाउंड या अमेरिकन डॉलर लेकर आएगा तो किसी का भी कान खड़ा हो जाएगा. यार ये छत्तीसगढ़ का रूरल विलेज का अकाउंट में मिस्टर डॉन कहाँ से अकाउंट में पैसा डालता है? और उनके पास अकाउंट भी नहीं है. वो पर्सन जो कलेक्ट करने के लिए था वो पैसा कलेक्ट करके लेके जाएगा एंड उनके पास ही रहता है. वो पैसा लेके जाके वो बैंक में डालेगा. हाँ, नॉन रेसिडेंट इंडियन. ये खुद ही मुझे बोली, खुद ही पूछ रही. माधव, you heard it?
Yes, sir.
It should be off the record. नहीं, वो कंपनी का सेक्रेटरी अलग होता है, शॉप्स का. शॉप्स को दिखाना पड़ेगा कौन सा शॉप है. हाँ, बट क्या बेचता है तू शॉप में? अभी तो कैसे दिखाएगा? पेपर में तो नहीं दिखा सकता, कुछ तो दिखाना पड़ेगा. हाँ, बट किधर वो परचेज करे तो उसका PO दिखा, PO ऑर्डर दिखा. अब डिलीवरी हो रहा तो डिलीवरी ऑर्डर दिखा. क्या तो दिखा है? कंपनीज बनाया है, मैंने लैंड खरीदा है. अभी सॉरी टू से ये मिस्टर रागा कैसा फंसा, ऐसा ही फंसा है. भाई साहब ने 50 लाख देके 2000 करोड़ का कंपनी को खरीदा है. 2000 करोड़ उस टाइम. अभी सोचो उसका वैल्यू कितना है.
तो वो लोग के पैसे लेके से कपड़े भी जाते हैं.
तो अभी आ रहा है ना, एक एक करके तो अंदर आ रहा है.
सारा ब्लैक
देखो, if you have seen one good movie of, I don't like Rajnikant movie too much, but there is one good movie called Shivaji the Boss. That is one nice movie. वो खुद भी उसमें इन्वॉल्व होता है. मुझे इनिशियली बहुत मूवी कॉमेडी लगता है क्योंकि बेचारा अमेरिका से पढ़ के आता है, बोलता है मुझे गरीब लोगों के लिए हेल्प करने का. गरीब का हेल्प उठा के उसको अंदर डालता है. एंड पहला सीन ही अगर आपने देखा रहेगा, he goes to a minister, बोलते नहीं सर ये तो FRA का रूल्स के खिलाफ है, ये वायलेशन है. तो उसका PA बोलता है शाम को मिलेगा. बोले किधर? ले मेरिडियन में मिलेगा. ले मेरिडियन से 5 स्टार होटल. एंड उधर जाने के बाद वो मिनिस्टर का PA क्या बोलता है, मैं स्कॉच ही पिएगा, वो भी लार्ज पिएगा. बोलते क्यों, छोटा क्यों नहीं पिएगा? नहीं आप बड़ा लोग है ना, क्योंकि पैसा तो वो देने वाला. तो रजनीकांत बोलता है मैं ये काम में इन्वॉल्व नहीं है. तो जो बंदा बोलता चुप बैठ, इंडिया में ऐसे ही काम होता है. Did you not see? And in the end what he does, गवर्नमेंट उसे सब कुछ छीन लेता है. बेचारा ये क्या करता है, चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट ओपन करता है, उसमें यही पैसा को फॉरेन से मंगाता है. तो पिज्जा का बॉक्स में लेके पूरा बॉक्स में वो और एक फटा हुआ नोट देगा और उधर का अब्दुल कादर भाई, हाँ मिल गया मिल गया। तो यही अब्दुल कादर भाई लंदन से पूरा करेंसी चैरिटी के नाम से बेचता है। चैरिटी इज अलाउड एंड वो पूरा पैसा इंडिया में रिटर्न आता। हाँ, तो दिस इज द ट्रबल। अभी नाउ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया स्पेशली मोदी हैज मेड वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट। अभी कितने सारे एसोसिएशंस को पकड़ा, ये पैसा आया कहाँ से, अभी इतना क्यों जा रहा है? मिस्टर मोदी हैज बीन क्लियर्ड फ्रॉम दिस 20 years of case, that Godhra incident, and there is a lady from Bombay only, Teesta Salwa, and वो lady ने तो हाँ, she has taken 1.4 crores of rupees from Congress government to create all kinds of hoaxes। अभी तुमको ये समझ में नहीं आएगा, कभी देखना न्यूज़ में, you'll understand। तो ये जैसा बच्ची को पूछ रही है ब्लैक मनी, ये सब इतना आसान नहीं। It's very tricky. So Mr. Chidambaram, the one of the famous finance minister for India, वो lawyer है, उसका बीवी lawyer है, उसका बेटा lawyer। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने बहुत बार इनको तीनों को पकड़ा है, तीनों बाहर आ सकते हैं। हाँ, बट मिस्टर चिदम्बरम हवा खाया था 160 दिन के अंदर था। और जो ईडी ऑफिस उसने नया नया बनाया था और जो स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स बनाया था, उसी रूल्स में वो पकड़ा गया। और जो जेल का रिबन इस भाई साहब ने काटा, उसी जेल में भाई साहब 3 महीना रुका होता। When he was the finance minister of India. That is bullion market बोलता है, bullion market. Every day whatever is worth gold. अभी अगर आज का जनरल अकाउंट में आरबीआई का एक $10 billion का गोल्ड है, तो उतना ही नोट प्रिंट करेंगे हम, उससे ज्यादा भी नहीं कम भी नहीं। That depends on इन्फ्लेशन होगा, कम करेगा तो डिफ्लेशन होगा। बट फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर एंड द गवर्नर ऑफ RBI can increase decrease 2-3% here and there, but they will not increase more than that। अभी आपको OMOs, repos, reverse repos बहुत सारा कुछ है। अब जब कॉमर्स में जाएंगे, if I am there with UT, we have started our own commerce batch also, you know that। So ये पूरा है उसमें बैंकिंग स्ट्रक्चर करके, where I explain in detail RBI कैसा करता है। ये आप जो बोलते हैं वो बुलियन मार्केट बोलने का। So every day government of India takes a record। Okay, shall we? देखो, as far as India it's okay। अभी एवरी कंट्री का तो मैंने पढ़ाई नहीं किया है। हाँ, ये एक्सप्लेन इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड वो कैसा काम करता है आई नो, बट हर कंट्री का मॉनेटरी स्ट्रक्चर अलग अलग है। अभी जैसे इंडिया का पॉलिटिक्स और अमेरिका बोथ आर डेमोक्रेसी, दे हैव अ प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शन, हियर इट इज डिफरेंट, दे फॉलो डबल सिटीजनशिप। यू कैन बी अ मेंबर ऑफ अमेरिका एंड यू कैन बी अ मेंबर ऑफ वन काउंसिल आल्सो। अभी उनके पास मेयर्स लोग बहुत है, हर एक प्रोविंस का हर एक मेयर। अभी हमारा स्टेट आके सेंट्रल से रिपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा, उधर स्टेट आके सेंट्रल को रिपोर्ट नहीं करेगा, वो अपना खुद का चलाएगा। तो उधर का और इंडिया का पॉलिटिक्स में जमीन आसमान का फर्क। हाँ, शो मी द वॉल्यूम, डिड वी लीव एनीथिंग? उसको सेफ निकाल के साइड में रखो, इस तरफ रखो, इट शुड नॉट फॉल ऑन यू। Then you put the heading in your notebook, Madhav, self-help group is done। Sources of credit you write down। Okay, उसके बाद लिखो advantages। Advantages of SHG। Let's finish it। Advantages। Point number 1। Advantages of SHGs। Point number 1। SHGs are the most revolutionary and dynamic part of rural finance in India। Dynamic and revolutionary part of rural finance in India। Second point, all important decisions are taken by the group members themselves, SELVES। All important decisions are taken by group members themselves, नहीं है self, plural। Next, these are building blocks of rural poor in India। Building blocks, hyphen डाल के डाल दो finance. Building blocks of finance to the rural poor in India. Second, next. Poor in India. It makes the rural women, make it plural.
So it makes
The rural women, self-reliant, and socio-economic issues. Socio-economic issues are to a great extent. Socio-economic issues to a great extent are resolved through regular meetings. Plus, regular meetings. Change the para ends. SHGs are highly important for rural financing. For rural financing. If we have formal sector of credit and informal sector of credit in page number 269. Let me see whether it is given. If not, I will only give you directly in the volume only. Correct. Did they give you any pay? So directly, so write in your volume page number 269. Everyone. Madhav, you have your volume?
yes, sir.
Pick up to page number 269 and directly write down formal sector of credit. It mainly includes all the registered banks with RBI. All registered banks with RBI. Full stop, continue. Nationalized banks. Careful with the spelling. Any word you can ask me. Nationalized banks. Come on. State banks. Private banks. Come on. Banks की जगह पर B apostrophe S डाल देना अभी के लिए बार-बार लिख के थक जाएगा. Cooperative banks. Cooperative. Don't write corporative one. It is cooperative. CO dash. And MNBs. Any idea what is MNBs?
Multinational banks.
Wonderful. Can you name any multinational banks in India?
वो बैडमिंटन
Have you heard about this Deutsche
और
HDFC? Sorry, HSBC.
हाँ मल्टीनेशनल बैंक.
क्या full form? Hong Kong Shanghai Commercial Bank of China. अभी Government of India ने उसको बंद कर दिया. Then we have DBS in Bombay. अभी आजकल DBS. It is called as Development Bank of Singapore.
So India में चलेगा.
हाँ क्यों नहीं? वो RBI में registered है. HSBC was direct output of China. एक Deutsche DUTCHE डाला रहेगा. तो बिना बैंक्स को कुछ नहीं देखते. ऐसा सिंबल डाला रहेगा. ऐसा या ऐसा कुछ सिंबल डाला रहेगा. I don't know exactly ऐसा कुछ उसका है. वाशी में ही मैंने देखा. Deutsche बोलते हैं. Some people say, sir, due to shoe bank. Like ये, I think Netherlands का कहाँ से तो है. So they call themselves as Deutsche. ये MNB है. Okay, write down. They charged a fixed or a low rate of interest. They charge a fixed or a low rate of interest hyphen fixed by RBI. Charge, low rate or fixed rate of interest fixed by RBI. Now you go down to informal. It mainly includes. It mainly includes. What is ML stands for? Money lenders. Please write down. Friends and relatives. Friends and relatives. Money lenders, friends and relatives. Second point. They generally charge a high rate of interest. Charge a high rate of interest and follow several malpractices. What is malpractices? Mainly ये money lender करता है ना? ब्रैकेट में डाल देने का ML, क्योंकि friends and relatives तो पैसा देने से रहा. Forget about malpractices. Malpractices. Bracket you can write money lenders. Then the last point. It is an unreliable source of credit. मतलब ज़्यादा इसको आप लोग डिपेंड नहीं कर सकते. उधर से तो सिर्फ एक वर्ड लिख दो रिलायबल. फॉर्मल में लिखो रिलायबल. अनरिलायबल सोर्स ऑफ क्रेडिट. मनी लेंडर देगा बट फिर आपसे उतना ही फिर वसूली भी कर लेगा. Is there any other question you want me to help check? Start completing all the answers there. इतना ही है? Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
ये क्या है? So shall we just show me that history volume of that book? We have got 7 minutes or 8 minutes to go. Please revise this chapter, a very important chapter for economics. Because on that day, since we have 2 lectures, let's quickly start. Nationalism in India, I completed this here. Oh my God. You just started this. So shall we do this Rowlatt Act or?
Rowlatt Act. So last you gave Rowlatt Act.
I've given.
Yes.
Then did we do Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Khilafat movement?
Yes, sir.
But तुम लोग ने क्या बोला? Just इसके आधा चैप्टर तो हुआ. Did we do non-cooperation movement? ये क्लास में मोहम्मद अली, शौकत अली या अली वो भी है. अरे ये को नहीं या अली सर उसके साथ जोड़ देने का या अली. चलो then put the heading in your notebook. अच्छा you pack up. No need. I only just explain. I know if you pack up then explain करके भी कुछ फायदा नहीं है ना. So क्या बोल रहा माधव? School exams when is it?
The tentative dates are given 11th of July.
Which paper did you?
11th, no sir, tentative dates.
Tentatively next month is it?
Yes sir, 11th of July.
Okay. एक पेपर में लिख के देना मैंने क्या क्या चैप्टर कंप्लीट किया. तुमने ही दिया? Very sad. तो ये उसमें नेशनलिज्म इन इंडिया क्या किया लिखा है? Now when we understand this non-cooperation movement, you have to understand very simple programs of Mahatma Gandhi. What is that simple programs? where he is asking the common people to not to cooperate with the British. So he introduces the most important program, something called as Swarajya. What does Swarajya means? Independence. Freedom. Purna Swaraj bolte hain. India should be ruled by Indians. But was it India ruled by Indians those days? No. Then if you remember this Lal, Bal and Pal. Very good. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or some Maharashtrians say Tilak, Tilak. And then Bipin Chandra Pal, so Bengali was a Paul, Paul. So these were so revolutionaries. It was in fact Bal Gangadhar Tilak in front of the British judge. What was that famous line? Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it at any cost. So when I use the word Swaraj under NCM, we say India was not ruled by Indians. So they were demanding the most important and the basic right call, let us have Swaraj. The British government maybe in later stages comes up with the program say Dominion status. What is Dominion? Ultimate control is in the hands of the British. But then you will get freedom. INC rejects it. We do not want. Then second, they come up with a program called Swadeshi. What is Swadeshi? Use those goods which are made only by Indians. Although it might be quality is not good. Although it might not be, for you to happy to buy, maybe a bit costly, but then buy Indian goods. Why? The more you buy Indian goods, the more is the revenue going to the Indian. In those days, what did the Britishers do? They flooded the Indian market with which goods? The London made or British goods. Whenever you buy one small whatever product, the income goes to whom? The Britishers. Then start, once Swaraj is done, Swadeshi is done, only half a success. Then you have to boycott. What is boycott? Stop using the foreign goods. Stop attending the British schools. Stop attending the British courts. In fact, हमारा महाराष्ट्र में सतारा में MG Ranade and company ने मिला के parallel courts start किया. अभी ये क्या होता है parallel courts? They will put one small bench and table in front of a British court. And जो भी Indian जाएगा बोलेगा उधर नहीं जाने का जाओ यही court है यही judge है. You do not go into that courts. Many students asked to voluntarily quit the schools which are run by the Britishers. So boycott. Some women activists or the members of Congress participated in something called as picketing. You know what is picketing? Pickpocket सुना है? हाँ, तो वहां से ये word pocketing भी है. Picketing का मतलब क्या है? These women activists will go to a nearby so-called alcohol shops, which is the biggest revenue to the British, and they will pick all the bottles or all the whatever it is, and they'll run away. लड़के उनसे घर में जाके खुद खाएगा. They will then throw it on the road. Although they will be caught by the police later, but they were involved. And the last and the most important was national education. What is national education? When you learn from Indian schools, when you learn from Indian education system, at least you will be in a positive frame of mind. What is that? That Britishers have made them their slaves. We were not inferior to them. In fact, our culture and our history are much, much superior than what Britishers are. They came as a trader to India and they took over the country. So in fact, India was one rich country due to which the London was paying its all money. Correct? So national education will infuse in you the pride of India. Not only pride of India, many of the reformers like Arya Samaj, Brahma Samaj, correct? They infuse the problem of sati. They asked them to ban it. Then widow remarriages were encouraged. Girl education was encouraged. So we had our own Mahatma Phule and his wife, Savitribai Phule. They started schools on their own money, without taking money from the British government. So encouraging which education? Girls education. So when we meet next time, we will continue with this NCM. please try to read this chapter and don't try, read only. Okay, Madhav? Shall we?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and good night. Really. I hope it doesn't rain now. It skipped out so quickly. It was wonderful having you guys. You can keep moving one by one, like I always do. And the last two boys keep moving first. Last two boys were the first two boys. Ready? You only छोड़ दे बोले इधर रख के बोल ले
Thank you sir for the party.
No problem ये थोड़ी बात bye 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 bye